single deck.
Yep. They didn't I mean the Undertaker wasn't getting played in every single deck. What happened is that the Undertaker was warping aggro in a way that forced you to play Death Rattle if
Yeah.
you wanted to play aggro, which is the reason they changed it. But if you look back on Tinkmaster, suddenly it feels like Dr. Boom is more in line as far as its metagame impact with Tinkmaster than Undertaker.
Well, interestingly enough, there's a Cousin Mystic in the Weirdlock deck. So it's being kind of like tweaked against mages and hunters, and you think that's necessary because Weirdlock was actually built to counter mages, right?
Yeah.
So and against hunters, it wasn't so bad either.
Yeah, I'm wondering why Xixo is including a heavy tech versus Mage Hunter when it's already a matchup that is not exactly too bad for Hybrid Lock. I
Yeah,
really
exactly.
got to be a little surprised there, but we'll see how it pans out for him. At least it's going to be a 4-3 that you can throw on the board right now. In fact, it's going to go down immediately. Says, you know what? You're going to get value out of this Death's Bite anyway, so might as well give it to you right now.
I really like the comeback of Floating Berserker in current metagame. It's like really cool and high impact minion on the board if you can like whirlwind immediately after dropping him on the board. So I really love that minion being back in the metagame.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a card that saw play, I guess intermittently. It used to be like semi-popular in some variants of the... You remember the Azure Drake Core Chronolite Control War a long time ago?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yep, it was a super long time ago, and it was pretty popular there. Now, we see Blood Mage Thalnos in a weird lock, and I have to say, I really like that choice from Xixo, because I play Blood Mage in mid-range Warlock for the Mortal Coil value. It's
When you think about
absolutely
it,
interesting.
Thalnos in Weirdlock is even better because we have 2 Mortal Coils, 2 Implosions, 2 Dark Bombs, and 1 Hellfire, 1 Shadow Flame. So there's really a lot of cards that you can increase with the 1 Blood in Thalnos.
And the cycle is also not irrelevant. I mean, it dies and it gives you a card draw, so you might as well take it. I mean, there's so many damage-dealing spells in mid-range Warlock.
So we'll see Implosion most likely, and we do. Oh!
I wonder if that's what he
Oh.
wanted, because it was almost better for him to get a 3 attack to get a coil afterwards, because now... then again, he can tap, never mind.
Yeah, exactly, you can curve out perfectly with that tap. So I
Yeah,
think
never
that was,
mind.
like, that was really, really better.
Yeah, no, you're right, I completely blanked out on the tap, I don't know why. I should be remembering live tap when I'm casting a Warlock, right?
Yeah, you should, I think so.
Seemed like a pretty good thing to do. Alright, so... There's a lot of
Heavy
board
drops.
contests.
Like, wow,
Wow,
so many
I can't believe
creatures.
this. Yeah.
So from Xixo, we'll see most likely an abusive sergeant, and well, that armor smith is tricky. Like, you have so many options here. The Argus will be dropped for value. That's nice. So you can now contestate the armor smith, and then go with a dark bomb mortal coil for the second floating berserker, I think.
Or abusive. I guess you could go for the abusive play. Or Dark Bomb Coil if you want to trade into the 3-2. Oh,
big
wow.
amount.
BGH? No. What?
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's fine. I'm not exactly sure why did he use the big M hunter,
Yeah.
but it's like more of tempo swing, but you lose then the tempo swing with a creature like Dr. Boom, you know? So I'm not exactly sure what went through his mind with that play.
I guess because he's got abusive and coil and dark bomb, he's not really afraid of a large minion coming out. He still has good ways to deal with this. I mean, Dark Bomb and the BGH deal with Dr. Boom on their own. So I can probably see the reasoning. You might go for Dark Bomb, trade into Boom, and then drop Void Caller here.
Yeah, that's fine too. You have only like second Void Color and Doomguard. Well, okay, that's Succubus, Mistress of Pain. I mean, Well,
Right.
the really great thing about this deck is there's so many different kind of plays you can do each turn. So everyone has like his own specific style with that deck.
Yeah. And we see now that he keeps the Dark Bomb and decides to get the Mistress of Pain out manually in case, you know, the Void Caller whiffs. You really do not want the Void Caller to bring out a 2-drop, given the choice. So I like this line of play from Xixo.
The Sylvanas might pose a problem, but there's a Owl waiting already in the hand, so no problem there. The issue here is do you want to sacrifice the Void Color right now to get the board advantage? If you're a fear brawl? I don't know.
You've got to play.
You can't really play around cards that are like one-offs in decks, right? At least that's my perspective.
I mean, you've got to play around Alex, Grom, Hellstream. There's a one of each of those, but those are win conditions, whereas Brawl is more of a tempo swing card. And I wouldn't be surprised to just see him let Sylvanas be... Like, he could trade Mistress of Pain into Boombot, and if it doesn't kill Argus, then double trade Void Caller, get himself a Doomguard and whatnot. This is a position I'm not too unhappy about if I'm Xixo.
Okay, so he went full face.
Wow. That is a pretty good Boombot.
Yeah, that's awesome for him because that basically didn't do anything.
He doesn't want. Yeah, I'm just curious to see.
Like that
what
big game
follow-up
hunter
Firebat has.
It's really bad for him. Like the big game hunter, the only big game hunter target in the reload deck might be the Dr. Boom. So that bomb was basically worth nothing. And if you play big game hunter now, you will have to think about low tap, I think. But it's really bad. Like the situation on board is really bad for the warrior. So yeah. So this is quite nice when you can like put a bigger board and trade with the Sylvanas. So that bomb wasn't worthless at all.
No, not at all. It enabled a really good trade here for Firebat.
Exactly. So now Mal'Ganis has also value with the +2/+2. Like your Void Color will be 5.
Whoa, that
five,
is crushing.
6. You can trade it for the Belcher. Then you trade the bombs for the slimes.
Actually, could you? Okay, I was gonna say, could you not drop Mal'Ganis?
I think you have to.
Go for a slower play.
It's too big of a swing.
Well, let's see where that goes. A Boombot to the face for 2 damage. It's an arcane shot. And out comes a light well.
Oh wow! Well, that's
you can't kill this.
You can kill this. So you trade one damage, but really nicely done by Xixo here. Just to damage it by one point, so there's a 50-50 possibility of him healing for 1 and not for 5.
For 3.
Actually, I was wrong. Like there's Mal'Ganis a big game hunter target. So yeah, that was quite dumb for me.
Yeah, there are 2 targets in... Okay, wait. No. There are 2 targets in the typical Demon Lock, but in the mid-range Warlock, sometimes you see Molten Giants come out, and suddenly BGH gets even more value. There are so many variants that... But I think you can make the read after you see Void Caller that there will not be any Molten Giants.
Probably, yes. Shadow Flame.
This is not a bad Shadow Flame, actually. It's not horrible. I don't dislike it too much. Oh, wow. That might actually make it even better.
I think you save the Shadow Flame for better options.
Which better option? I can't think of any against Warrior. You've seen the Acolyte, you've seen 1 Armor Smith. There's very little that's left, I guess.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate with that second Void Color. Well,
Defender of Argus is really good here. I'm liking this. I'm so happy to see Mistress of Pain see play, by the way. It's one of those cards where, when it was announced, a lot of people thought it would be underwhelming in just about every circumstance because it's just it's a 1/4, its stat line is miserable, and it doesn't do much, but mid-range Warlock has adapted it amazingly well.
So Boombot now with Ragnar's? No. That will be funny though. So that the Ragnar's will be taken care of really easily. I'm not exactly sure if it's lethal. It might be, right? It's 2, 4, 5, 8... 11, 14, Boombot, and Abusive Sergeant. So you can play like 3, 5, 10. You got 10 damage from your hand because you can play Hellfire, Abusive Sergeant, and Doomguard.
Yep.
So that's 10, 13, 14, 16, 18. So if you get a really lucky Boombot, you win instantly.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 win. Well, yeah, actually it's a little less than that, but it's upwards of... It's close to the 50% range.
Well, you will see it after the Hellfire, you know. He doesn't go.
Oh wow! Okay, that is gonna seal the game.
Yeah, that's gonna seal the game. It's also really cool to power overwhelm the bombs because it will be sacrificed anyway. So you will get the additional points of damage from that.
Yep. Xixo is gonna get that lethal with Dark Bomb and Doomguard for the insta-kill on Firebat, who got taken down from 20 health here. And this is one of the power, I think, of mid-range Warlock. It's packing the Power of Whelmings, it's packing the Dark Bombs, it's packing a lot of... You know how people used to run the Arcane Golem?
Oh, there's already a Snow Chugger in Xixo's opening hand, so he'll definitely keep that. And probably mulligan away the Frostbolt and Goblin Blast Mage. But as we can see, Firebat has a really great opening hand. I would actually keep every single card from that.
Yeah, and he does. And double Snow Chuggers out. Uh-oh. Well,
it's still not bad.
Yeah.
Still not bad. Because, you know, you got the Shield Slam and the Armor Smith. The Armor Smith will be really important.
Yeah, just getting that extra bit of armor is going to be pretty important. I remember when... was there a glitch when armor didn't... You couldn't get frozen through armor?
That wasn't a glitch. I think that was just a rule that was changed, you know?
Okay.
Because it kind of makes sense. If you didn't deal damage, then it doesn't freeze, right? And you didn't deal damage because you had to chip off that armor.
Yeah, it was kind of like the, what's it called? The Divine... It's kind of like the Divine Shield effect, where
exactly.
you don't get frozen through Divine Shield.
Like the bug was with Alex Strasser removing the armor. That was insane.
No, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So Firebat's gonna go for a shield slam on that little chugga chugga because you can't let that guy chugga chugga on for days.
Especially when you have a second weapon in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Really insane hand for Firebat, you have to say that, right? It's like
yeah, I'll be
weapon,
honest. It's
weapon, turn 4 drop. Really insane.
What does a Shredder gift us on this glorious day? It's a 4-1. Wow, that's not...
That's not quite good for Xixo here.
Well, I mean, you trade with a Shredder. Well, you don't want to be trading with
think
anything.
so.
Yeah, you just go face.
It's quite unfortunate for the Armor Smith, you know, because that Armor Smith will now have value, and not only by generating the armor, but also by trading for 1/1.
Mm-hmm. Xixo's hand is a bit on the dry side. I mean, it's got a lot of burn, but that's not what's gonna win you the game. You probably have to kill the 1/2.
Yeah, but the mirror entity is really cool now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope Firebat doesn't play into it first, because that would be a mistake. Protecting the 4-1 behind.
I don't think he will do that.
Behind a taunt.
He will just skip probably the minion this turn and just go with Death Spite.
And attack into the 4-1.
I'm not exactly sure. Like,
you can keep your full Shredder, I guess, if you do that.
Do you want to keep a full Shredder on turn 6 for Mage? Like, what are the options here? You want to get the Death Spite for 1 durability, that's for sure. So.
Yeah. So he does trade the weapon's first charge into the 4-1, which I think makes a bit of sense. And Xixo's hand is blanking out again.
Yeah,
He's gonna have to get some spare parts for that Archmage, because otherwise this is not looking too good. And if Firebat plays into the mirror entity at any point, maybe that will help Xixo.
Well, it will be a Shields Maiden this turn. Oh. Is that an impactful at all?
Well, right now it's not, but he pings it to make sure that the Death Bite.
Yeah. So if he wouldn't ping it, then he would have to trade into the Mana Worm with that Pyromancer. So that was really bad for Xixo. And now we see a really lucky draw for Firebat, because he is able to trade the weapon and the Pyromancer, killing both creatures. So that's really insane. And you will also buff your creature above, like, wow. How many points of damage will that be? 7, right? 7?
Yeah, I think it'll be on 7 damage here. This is going to be a really...
8, right?
And Xixo actually has to deal with this 7. This is actually really crazy. A 7-3, you used 2 Frostbolts already. This is exactly what you want to use your Frostbolts on, and having the Fireball at 7-3.
A nice draw, though, because you can now curve out and bluff the second mirror entity.
Firebat is...
Oh, now he will play Big Game Hunter, right? On the table. Yeah.
Otherwise, like, if there were a Dr. Boom... Yeah, if there were a Dr. Boom...
Look at Firebat's face. Like, what is going on? Hard.
I can't play anything here. I mean, you might play Belcher because it's low impact.
First. Oh. You think so?
Yeah. I don't mind those lines of play, because Belcher doesn't even trade with itself. So if it is a mirror entity, then does it really matter much? Well, let's see what Xixo gets. An unstable
Unstable
portal.
portal.
Oh, this might be the card that defines the way this game's gonna go.
A really cool that a really cool stuff here is that there's a counter spell backing up your Antonidas from any kind of executes or other shenanigans like a shield block, armor up, shield slam, whatever.
Yeah, and you know what's the worst part? Firebat sees the Archmage, and he knows, well, that's a counter spell, but it doesn't matter because I have no spells. But wait, I don't
Yeah.
even have removal for this, even if I did have anything, so...
So if he would actually drop anything else but the Belcher, he would be able to kill it.
Yeah, funny enough, he would have actually, like, if you dropped BGH just because he wanted to BGH, that would have been just enough damage to kill that Archmage Antonidas, but unfortunately, that is not the
think with
case.
that kind of hand, it was really better to play Big Game Hunter first, to check for Mirror Entity, and then drop the Piloted Shredder because you build so much board advantage. So now you deal damage to the Antonidas? Yeah, you do. It kinda sucks.
Yeah, you've got to do your best, but now Unstable Portal,
Low tip, okay, that's
another
a
bomb.
really bad draw.
That's not too bad, it's a big body, for all it's worth. Let's see what
Fireball
Unstable
from
Portal...
Unstable Portal, let's see that first time.
Unstable Portal gives you a random card in the game.
That would be so funny.
Well, it's not it. That doesn't really curve too well. I almost feel like...
You have to drop low tip and the Nightblade, but it really sucks.
Yeah, because you want to cycle those fireballs to get maximum value out of your Archmage, but...
So you want to kill the Belcher, then Antonidas is on 1 HP point, or you can drop Fireball to Belcher, kill it
And
with
then Nightblade?
small Nightblade, yeah. And you
think
get the
that's the
second
play.
Fireball, so I think that's fine. Then he will have to trade the Piloted Shredder into Antonidas just to save 5 points of HP. Well, he got 10 points of HP in his hand, so it's not actually bad.
And he's seen 2 Frostbolts, so how worried is he really about burn?
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be a Fireball Nightblade turn. Because it does give you another piece of removal for the following turn, whereas if you drop Lotham and Nightblade, you're missing out on your follow-ups, really. That's the biggest issue.
I think Xixo is not even playing Clockwork Gnomes, right? In this type of deck when you play Mana Worms?
I've seen decks without Cogmasters, and they play Clockwork Gnomes for the spare part for Archmage. So they'll be running double Mechanical Yeti, double Clockwork, 2 Mana Worms, 2 Unstable Portals, and they'll be cutting a lot of the mech standard stuff that you'll see usually.
I see. By the way, what do you think about Piloted Shredder? I mean, what
As
do
a
you
card,
think?
because I don't like it.
Don't you think it's just too dominating in almost every single type of decks?
I mean, there will always be a kind of cookie cutter card, right? In any meta game ever. The problem is, I feel like the Shredder brings alongside its cookie cutterness a little bit too much power and stickiness and synergy, etc., etc.
Yeah. Well, this situation sucks for Xixo. You have to go with Fireball and Low Tip, I think.
I would slam it down right now because I don't know what this accomplishes. What does Dr. Boom accomplish here? A potential lethal setup, or?
Oh, really?
And he's playing to BGH against a handlock, against a warrior. That's, you know, he's got at least the 1 in his deck. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I mean, Firebat just goes to face, says, you know what? I've got my 2 shield maidens. What do I care?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to deal with this board now, Mage. Better top deck a Flame Strike, because this is not going to be good for you.
You need a Savage Roar Force of Nature combo here.
I think it's pretty easy to get.
Yeah, from 2 Unstable Portals.
Yep. You get Unstable Portal, get random cards, and you'll score exactly what you need.
Imagine that odds to get like Force of Nature and Savage Roar from 2 Unstable Portals.
What does the Boombot hit? It hits the face. Oh wow, what a whiff. Crazy whiff. And he fireballs himself.
Oh wow,
intentionally.
was it a misclick? No, oh.
No way. He knows he's got
Yeah,
no way
I
to
know.
win. Frostbolts.
Scoring thing. I don't think that's so much good for the rogue. And oh,
Freeze! Oh!
the dome is coming. Well, that's not.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, so Clockwork Gnomes here in Xixo's deck is that exactly as I said. I think this is going to be a deck that tries to get at least the spare parts up, and you want to have those spare parts. Like even if you cut all the mech, you know, the emphasis on mech, and you go a little off the beaten path with it, you still want to get the spare parts.
How do you want to win against Freeze Mage with Mage? Because that
Unstable
mirror
Portal,
that mirror
Analysis
entity is just awful. Like imagine mirror entitying a Doomsayer. It's an instant board wipe.
Unstable Portal.
Oh, Explosive Sheep already being drawn out. Like that's huge. It's really huge. Do you want to clear that? Interesting, right? I wouldn't think of clearing that Mad Scientists.
Ragnaros is gonna beat that mage. You're asking what's gonna kill it.
That's a really great card against Mage.
That's
like,
one way to beat the mech mage. I mean,
without,
a freeze mage.
Without a polymorph, you can do Jack against.
Well, you know what's interesting is I'm looking at this deck from Xixo, and I think I've seen the exact same list on ladder yesterday. The exact same list, card for card.
It's not something like unusual a Rag and Mage, right? Especially in like some time ago when the mid-range mage was really popular with Kiritors, and you know the Ragnars was exactly there for freeze mages.
Exactly, and what I'm thinking right now is that this deck might contain a single Kirintor. If he's playing 3 secrets, then suddenly the extra Kirintor can come in pretty handy at times, with the Mad Scientists on their own.
Well, we'll have to see it. And Neutron will kinda will be impactful now, not really.
Not that much, but what's really interesting is that the Ruby Egg is protecting Xixo's board against protecting. It's mitigating the damage that a pure AoE would do.
Still something, like you know, the JPEG, like it's something.
Yeah, at least it's something.
Yeah. Second Ice Barrier, that's nice. It's like Healing Touch.
Yep, for mages, and it's gonna get counterspell.
Okay, so at least he knows the counterspell is gone, so the Flame Strike will have value. So that's important. I think Xixo will not play Yetis in this deck when he's playing counterspell.
Well, that's the variant that I'm talking about. It's much less mech emphasizing, but he's playing the mech warpers and the Anoyotrons, which leads me to believe he might have a slightly more standard list than, because the list that I was referring to contained a bit more of the mid-range mage approach and less of the mech one. So probably not the exact same list. Now that I see the Anoyotron, I think that's what's slightly different. The good thing about triggering that counterspell is that he knows that it's not mirror entity, so he's not afraid of giving his opponent an Acolyte of Pain now. He can just afford playing it down and starting to draw for a few cards this time. Yeah, you're not playing that right now, I don't think.
Well, you have one dead card in your hand because you won't play the mirror entity at all, I think, in this matchup. Like maybe on turn 8, if you want to play around Alexstrasza, like you think he will kill you next turn. But
I'm really surprised here I'm really surprised about the Blast Mage on the Acolyte of Pain here. I thought he would maybe consider buffing the Mana Worm by just 1. You know, you give a taunt to something, or you play I don't know what, but...
Well, you have to build board against the Mage, and now it kinda... The Flame Strike has some value, but not really. Because it kills 2 creatures and still puts up a 4/4 on the board. So... It doesn't really do much.
I still like it though. I think it's a really strong play. Or Nova Doomsayer also works super well because they do. Yeah,
seems to be better, I think.
It's weak against Fireball, but that's 1 less Fireball you're gonna take to the face. So it's pretty strong.
You're still playing for time.
You almost want to play Explosive Sheep here and trigger that egg before you Flame Strike.
That's also nice. That's also nice.
Yeah, I kind of like that line of play. You play Explosive Sheep, you ping the shield off, the Anoyotron, and then you set up that good Flame Strike.
Yeah,
that's all the minions.
I think that's the turn you want to play it. Yeah. Good catch.
All right, so we see the Explosive Ship going down. It's disguised as a sheep. It's actually a polymorph. You wouldn't know.
So, well, this looks kind of bleak for Xixo here.
And the worst part is you can't play Mirror Entity against Freeze Mage because he plays Doomsayer and suddenly you lose the game. So it's so painful as a
Well,
freeze.
at least not this turn, because the only thing you can plan to do with that Mirror Entity is to mitigate the Alex Straz on turn 9, but then you won't be able to play the Ragnaros on turn 8, and you really want to do this. Oh, missed 1 point of damage. This can be crucial.
We'll see exactly what ends up happening, but I don't think Firebat is on his way to really be threatened by anything Xixo does up until this point. I mean, Ragnaros comes out. If it misses Doomsayer, that's a GG. But if it hits face, he still needs to find a bit more burn.
I really like the play that even like he didn't have to play the Doomsayer, he played it anyway. I think that the reason was that he just drew it, so he had double Doomsayers, and it's really not that important to have so many answers in your hand. Oh wow. Okay, so what we'll see here? Go for face. Basically.
Yeah. Whoa. Here comes the power card.
Yeah, that's the end of the game.
Alex Straza auto win.
Yeah.
Back to back. You know, you just play a turn after the other, and if Xixo can't pop that block twice in a row, this is gonna be game.
Although I can see how many points of damage is that. That's 5. I mean HP. That's 5 HP.
Exactly 5 HP here for
so you don't have
Firebat.
enough to pop it.
Yep, he'd need to have a Blood Mage Thalnos to pop it with a hero power, but Firebat's not gonna get lethal now with that Pyroblast. He's gonna have to wait a little while. And now there might be a first Ice Block pop.
Oh.
The problem is getting the second one out.
So there's no. So you have at least one more turn. So you just play Pyroblast to face.
I mean, just attack with Alex Straza until you can auto win. You know, you clear this board, you go full face with everything you've got. And, yep, that's gonna be game. Exact lethal for Firebat.
Right. Sorry.
Xixo, yeah, exactly. There's no way with Flame Strike for Xixo to really stabilize after that point. I mean, Alex Straza is the win condition of Freeze Mage, and Freeze Mage is especially strong. Still seemed like a more straightforward minion-heavy play style, and it was really easy for people who'd never played the class to get into it.
That's true. Okay, so we see a Web Spinner in Xixo's hand, so I assume it's a mid-range.
It could be both, but yes, you're right. In general, it's definitely more of a mid-range card. Otherwise, you tend to see a bit more aggressive stuff like Leopard Gnomes, and you cut that out.
Yeah.
All right, well, the high main confirms it.
Exactly. Well, there was a point in metagame when Face Hunter was playing one Savannah high main.
That's gotta have that must have been frustrating.
Yeah, like play you play with everything. You drop everything on board just to play against the Face Hunter, and then one single Savannah Hyman goes down, and you're like, oh, I don't have an answer for that.
Oh my god, Captain's Parrot Falls. Is that just gonna be a kill command enabler this game? I mean, I can't imagine that would do anything at all.
Maybe there's a green skin in there.
You know what? I don't say a lot. That'd be lying. But some hunters in the past have played Greenskin. The only time where that was overplayed was probably in the closed beta phase. I remember Greenskin drew you a card when you attacked. And it was essentially an auto-include in every deck that contained a weapon ever.
Yeah. That was
really
pretty
crazy.
Cool mechanic for like the parents.
They're probably going to re-include it sometime.
You think there will be some pirates in Blackrock Mountain?
Yeah, that'd be nice though. I don't think so, but I'd like to see that.
Well, dropping down the Violet Teacher when you have 2 backstabs in your hand, I think it's kinda nice.
Yeah, because you're also before the famed Knife Juggler Unleashed turn, so you can still get some decent value. And if one of your 2 apprentices is able to eat that Freezing Trap, then you're going to be pretty far ahead.
Definitely. And now there's also a problem. Oh, never mind. There's a Unleash the Hounds, because if that's a Freezing Trap, and it is, you can't really allow you can't really allow the rogue to be in a position when he can trigger the Freezing Trap with a 1/1.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's basically for free, so that Unleash the Hounds is an answer to that.
Yeah, and it's a really fortunate top deck here for Xixo because you want to get that Freezing Trap to trigger. And, you know, Firebat is shaking his head here. He's like, no way he didn't have the Unleash and top decked it on me. Well, he did. He did need it, to be honest. It was the arguably only way to negate the snowball effect that Firebat was about to get going.
Yeah, now he can't really attack anymore, but if you play the Farseer, you don't have
you
an
pass?
option to spawn minions, but then you actually then you push Hunter to trade for that Farseer, so it will still mitigate the Violet Teacher from attacking, but you also I think you have to use the kill command on the Violet Teacher or the Owl to because the Violet Teacher has too much value in this matchup, especially after one Unleash the Hounds is played anyway.
So this is gonna be the Captain's Parrot turn for Xixo, or is he just gonna? Oh, he's gonna play the Captain's Parrot. No, he's not. I'm disappointed.
It's like 2 mana for maybe 1 damage.
It's a terrible. It's a bad novice engineer. Like there's nothing to do with it. There's no way. But if he had Captain Greenskin, we would have seen it come down. So we know now that it's not in his deck list for sure.
So freezing trapping a Farseer, definitely not bad.
All right, so we see Lothab come down here.
Lothab is a great
is it
drop
even good
here
at
because
the moment?
then you can like trade with a Savannah Highmane, but you don't really have to do this because there's a sap in your hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lothab's coming down, but I don't think it prevents anything, which is like the transition I was gonna make before he dropped the Drake immediately.
The Lothab on turn 5 against Hunter is most likely will be just a plain blank 5/5 because of that Savannah Highmane on turn 6 or a Pilot Sky Golem if someone is like overpacking it. But still, the Lothab has to be kept for the turns when like a Knife Juggler, Unleash the Hounds can happen, or double kill command can happen.
Yeah, double kill command. We've seen 1 kill command, so you want to at least keep it for that Knife Juggler turn where you flood the board with stuff and you want to make sure that your opponent doesn't manage to get a swing back in the game. You want to seal the game with Lothab more so than start it. And another Highmane's going to come down with Web Spinner, putting even more pressure here on Firebat to get another sap or a good Blade Flurry.
This is not looking good for Firebat. If it draws into Blade Flurry, never mind.
He's
never mind.
Counter top decking Xixo here. He says, "You got that Unleash. I'm getting my double sap on your Highmane. Thank you very much."
Wrecked, son. Xixo is like, oh, that didn't happen.
Well, he did top deck Unleash, so he might be spamming well played on Firebat, but Firebat is
dying
well.
of laughter here.
He's like, I know how salty Xixo gets. Let me abuse that. Oh man.
Oh wow! Now with that Savannah Highmane and defensive Argus, that will be clearly insane.
Well, you can't afford doing that. Look at the amount of damage the rogues got on board. If you do that, you lose the game right away.
You have to push for damage anyway because you will lose. Like there's no AoE effect in your opponent's hand, so you have to push for damage. You have to finish the game as soon as possible.
Well, is the game finished here? Actually, let me.
Oh, sorry.
Consider.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm trying to calculate here. He's getting a total of. He's gonna have 6 damage on that weapon. Yeah, the game's over. I think.
12, that's 19. Am I seeing that right? I'm not exactly sure because my Skype is just like off.
Yeah, he attacks with Lotham into the 2/2, and then he deadly poisons Phase for 6, and then eviscerates for 5. Is he 1 off lethal? Am I actually seeing this right?
Well, you can eviscerate
he's
the
1
web
off.
spinner, right? You eviscerate the web spinner because you don't want to damage the low tip. Then you have 12, 20. No, yeah, you're right. 1 point of lethal. Why I said even 20? I don't know.
Over 9,000. All right, so the Azure Drake going to hit face. So I think Firebat wants to play it safe. Maybe he's not interested in just pushing for heavy damage now, because he's still a little bit away from winning. And if he uses that deadly poison on a new dagger, it's going to give him a little bit more damage because he can reuse that 2 damage again with a possible Blade Flurry if anything's found. So not pushing for whole damage with deadly poison here. Alright, so Nat Piggle is gonna fish all day, but not very long actually, based on this hand from Firebat. But there's the 9 for Grizzly though. Right? That might actually be super relevant. Is it? Can he even kill another minion?
I don't think so. Like,
yeah, there's nothing here that can be done.
You can only bluff.
Yeah, you can bluff Freezing
and-
Trap,
yeah,
but
that's it.
it's not like he's gonna play around it anyway. He has to play as though it's not there. And even his
No,
oh,
there's second eviscerate. There's no
Yeah.
point.
is he just gonna BM the double eviscerate top deck?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Kapow.
Firebat is smiling. I don't know if there's something satisfying about beating one of your co-teammates or one of your teammates, but that's going to be 3-1 for him in this series here versus Xixo, who was doing amazingly well. I mean, they were both 1-0 going into this match, and that's going to give the lead to Firebat.